S games, but I just had to include this one. It's just over 10 minutes. I think it's the fastest game I've ever had of ARAM. I'm usually not very good with Gangplank, so this is a plus game with spooky Gangplank. However, I decided to do something different. When I first started trying to play Gangplank, I was like, oh man, I just can't get the hang of him. I'm not good at him. I was trying to build him AD because his Q and his E are based off of AD. So instead, I'm like, how about I go for crazy cooldown and alt cooldown? And so I went Dom with Hail of Blades and then Precision Secondary, so I have both ultimate cooldown runes going on. And then I'm just going to build 40% cooldown reduction as fast as possible so I can essentially spam his ult. So I went with an AP build with Gangplank, and it has turned out really good. I've won several games with him recently. Yeah, it's been kind of fun. You do get to use his ult a lot more, and then the heals are huge when you go AP. His W is a self-heal, and let me tell you, it heals like 1/3 of your health when you put AP into it and you've gotten a few ranks into it. So basically what I've been doing is maxing W, so I have this huge self-heal and going AP, and of course, you know, maxing ultimate and just trying to build as much cooldown reduction as fast as I can. And then the Hail of Blades gives me really fast melee, so when I do actually go in, I am chopping pretty fast on people. And then I just use my Q for poke, and I've been using my barrels for wave clear, not trying to set up too many big barrel plays, which is what a good Gangplank would do. Good Gangplanks like do funky things with their barrels, and like they set up these big barrel plays where it does a lot of damage, honestly, but I just was not getting good at that quick enough, so I decided to go another route with the AP, cooldown reduction, ult reduction, Gangplank. And yeah, like I said, it's been pretty fun. I don't know if I would try that in a real game, but in ARAM, it's been fine. And it's probably preferable if you do have some other AD on your team. Although very few people build defensive items or magic resist. Usually only some tanks will build that kind of stuff in these games, so it doesn't really matter if your team is stacked AP, it doesn't matter as much as you think it might. But that sustain, like every time I take damage, I'm able to heal up to almost full, so that heal is pretty powerful. And you see I'm using my barrels for wave clear, sort of behind the action, and then also in dive situations I'll use my barrels. If someone's gonna 1v1 me, I know I've got that big heal, and if I've got a barrel right on them, I'll explode them and get some good damage popping off. Ooh, I took way too many tower hits there, and so looks like I zoned them out with my ultimate. Did some damage also. I think that was my first kill. So it is kind of a passive build. You're really not up in people's faces. You're waiting on your cooldowns. You're healing up. You're just busy not dying. And also, yeah, the CDR really helps with that heal too. You can see I'm really not short on mana at all. Because I'm not using a ton of spells constantly. See, look at that heal. That was about a quarter of my health, a third of my health. And if I got far enough with this build, I probably would actually go ahead and build like a Bloodthirster or something for sustain when I am meleeing, and I think that would go good with the Hail of Blades rune that I'm using. Lands an attack on a champion, and you get this big burst of attack speed. Ouch, that hurt. Also, when I first started playing him, I wasn't like using my heal enough. So that's another thing like I've done now is I've just been trying to be sure to use that heal almost every time it's up. See, there you go. Zone those guys out and trap him with that ulti. Just being smart about using your ults to sort of trap the other team. Because it really does take a few seconds to do a decent amount of damage. But if you trap the team and leave them nowhere to go, it is really effective, especially if they try to run through it. It's not going to be a good outcome. And yeah, I tried to put a lot of damage onto the Alawi poles. Oh, and this guy was a first-time Rakan, Patarik, so definitely big ups to him. I think he got I think he got like 4 honors because he was like, I don't know how to play Rakan. This is my first time ever playing Rakan. So I was like, he's a tank and he's got a heal. And he actually played him supporty. He did a lot of healing. I think he winds up like 0-0 and then 12 or something. So a bunch of assists. Oh, I got drowsied for the first time. I think my ult is up, and right now I'm just sort of waiting for a good situation to pop it. There we go. Sort of trap, clear the wave, let us prep us to go and attack the towers. That was tough, so that was my first death right there. So we're 3, 1, and 6. I think we're going to get 3 more kills before the end of this, because the other team sort of has the advantage now. We're going to kind of have to reset a little bit. But yeah, that Rakan did a great job. They played very supporty. They were giving heals and shields. They were jumping around. See, that's the other thing, like, sort of a little pet peeve. If you've got a support character and you're like, nope, I'm just going to build AD and I am going to just try to get last hits and kills, I'm not going to support anyone, it usually turns out bad. He did not do that, and it turned out good. So I finished Luden's Echo because I wanted that 20% cooldown reduction, and then I'm building Banshees next because I want 10% more cooldown reduction. And I'll probably get to use my ult once again. See there, I was going in melee, but look, I heal up to full. Oh yeah, that's a good ulti. Get a double kill there, not much you can do. So I'd say this is probably a valid strat for ARAM. Going AP, try to be mostly unkillable, build as much cooldown reduction as possible, have all the cooldown ults, and use your R a lot. Team does a good job of collapsing back when we get dove. So you can see I've definitely wasted a few barrels here. And some barrels I've shot and got nothing from them. But so they dove and we're just like, okay, we're gonna fight you. So I'm meleeing a lot. So I think I'm even going to get another ulti before we're done here. Yeah, such a powerful ult. Add a bunch of cooldown reduction. Add both ult reduction runes. It can be pretty impressive. And impressive. Sorry for the wacky camera going on there. go. There's an ult that's going to kind of zone them out, so we're going to finish them off on the back line. Took out the turret. Now we just going to finish up. Nothing that these guys can do against us. Had flash, used it. And there is nothing you're going to be able to do to stop us. Ta-da. 10 minutes and 47 seconds. 6, 1, and 11. Really high kill participation. Awesomeness. So that's an A+ game of Spooky Gangplank. Maybe give that build a try for ARAM only. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe here. Visit me at twitch.tv, spinningmantis, and join me next time we do these ARAMs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I appreciate all the support. That's going to be all for now. Spinning Mantis out. Namaste.